Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture has not been lost, just disrupted. Indigenous ways of teaching remain in an ancestral framework of knowledge that is still strong today. Dr. Yankaporta, 2009. It is vital to implement Indigenous perspectives into the curriculum, focusing on the individual learner and how they learn. But what is the ultimate goal when producing successful learners? The Department of Education and Training defines success as students engaging in learning and achievement, transitioning into further education, training, and employment. Although this is clear, it should also incorporate the student's transition into adulthood, independently and positively through education. Students should be able to pursue further education, training, and employment that fulfills their desires, ensuring their independence to thrive as a human being. DET may look at success from a funding and development standard, but motivation and emotion needs to be incorporated to ensure longevity of commitment by the student. Within the professional standards, teachers are encouraged to implement a broad understanding and respect of Indigenous culture in the classroom, benefiting all students with teaching strategies that confirm the individuality of learners. To foster motivation and independent adults, teachers need to implement a variety of pedagogies, including Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander, into the curriculum. These are connections that students can relate to and build motivation of ultimately succeeding in learning. This presentation focuses on a Year 3 C2C science lesson. What defines living? The original lesson was updated to incorporate Yankaporta's 8 ways of learning with the addition of connecting to community, land links, learning journeys, and sharing stories while using ICT to improve learning outcomes. The 8 ways is a pedagogical strategy for teaching Indigenous students using traditional influences. What does traditional influences mean? Aboriginal people are a part of the oldest continuous living culture in human history, and traditional Aboriginal culture can be defined as accumulated knowledge which encompasses spiritual relationships, relationships with the natural environment, and the sustainable use of natural resources and relationships between people, which are reflected in language, narratives, social organisation, values, beliefs, and cultural laws and customs. Andrews, 2006. The lesson opens with an acknowledgement to country, delivered by a visiting community elder or representative. Students are invited to participate in a dialogue circle where directed questions are used to scaffold the learning and delivery of the lesson intent. The community within the classroom is a key factor of this, and the students are asked to listen to the elder as they explain the cultural links between the living environment and Indigenous society. Afterwards, the lesson moves outdoors, linking students to the land. Students are instructed to record a mini video of their experience as a contribution towards their final assessment, aided by a specially developed app. A concluding discussion ends the lesson, defining key terms and connecting all learning links. This information will be developed into a visual and placed on the student's classroom science learning journey. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander learners have the opportunity to achieve and be successful learners, but teaching planning is the key element. This can be split into 3 stages: orientating, enhancing, and perspective. Orientating characterises what a teacher does before the lesson. The first step is to develop community connection. Community partnerships allow for local Indigenous perspectives to be integrated into the curriculum, developing pride and belonging for young Indigenous students while teaching all pupils about community cultures and histories. This should be spread cross-curricularly, representing the importance of culture throughout all components of life and school. By including a community member, Indigenous students connect authority and learning, increasing their link to content, ultimately increasing their motivation for succeeding. R. Online resources can unpack the importance of community connection, using tools to understand cultural protocols, ensuring a positive learning environment. Providing visitors with a blue card is a great initiative for student safety and a tool for community members to increase their employment perspectives. Clear expectations for both parties needs to be created, providing a baseline to build a mutual relationship. By adding a cultural contributor into the classroom, the teacher can broaden their practice, embracing the 8-way strategy and understanding the full extent of Indigenous education needs through research. Non-verbal resources eliminate the barrier of literacy, and for this unit, the final assessment has been modified to an app design that collects evidence of students' learning from beginning to end, including a video log. This app would need to be constructed specifically for this unit, as it would include key checkpoints throughout. Using ICT needs to be planned, implemented safely on a closed network, and includes a variety of visuals and videos to reinforce learning references. Planning is the key to ensure that this unit is carried out successfully and all students link lessons appropriately. The enhancing stage puts the planning into practice. Community connections are applied and the visitors can participate in classroom learning. Precautions need to be taken when introducing culture into the classroom, and participation needs to take place in a neutral, non-biased environment where the classroom is a respectable, safe zone for all. Frequent use of Indigenous language throughout the lesson, elder-led discussion, and land linking teaching integrate culture into the science lesson. Land links use the environmental outdoor classroom to develop scientific understanding while connecting culture and the land, engaging in inquiry-based learning. Utilising story sharing is another way of the straight 8-way strategy, enhancing students' natural higher order thinking, benefiting both the individual and peers through active listening. Learning maps for each lesson can be collected and displayed in the learning journeys as visual reminders. During the lesson and the unit, the app will be used to collect evidence of student learning and implement ICT into the learning process, also eliminating the barrier of literacy that is found in some Indigenous learning environments. Assessment. The final stage is where reflection takes place. Student assessment is marked and data is collected to reflect upon the effective teaching pedagogies. By using the app as a continual learning journey, it provides valuable data of where and when the student did succeed, but also when they went off track. It is the teacher's responsibility to deliver feedback for the student to understand and improve their learning. Teachers can also reflect with their community representative, ensuring an improved future outcome for further lessons. This will highlight where the community and the 8 ways can be implemented further. The extent of possibilities to incorporate Indigenous perspectives into the curriculum is endless. Through this analysis, it is evident that community connection is the most valuable resource in the classroom. It is the integration of culture and curriculum that combines two worlds into one, allowing Indigenous students the opportunity to connect with their traditions and succeed within an educational environment that would generally be quite cold for them. Thank you for listening to my presentation.